the very top of Africa, ice glaciers appear to float between the clouds. It is a spectacular sight that climbers from around the world dream of witnessing firsthand.
I am determined to make it to the top, to actually get to the top and say that I've achieved something as great as Kilimanjaro.
Again?
Not everyone who attempts this mountain will make it to this point.
So I need to tell you this, we're a little concerned about taking you higher up the mountain. We're worried about you. I know you want to make it and all that, but from a medical perspective and a safety perspective, we are very, very concerned about you. And I want you to be safe, and I don't want anything to go wrong with you.
The youngest member of the Sandton SPCA group, 23-year-old Keletso Sithole, was forced to turn around due to altitude sickness.
We had to make a very tough call to get her down for her own safety and also for the sake of the whole team.
With heavy hearts, the rest of the team set off without her for the final stretch of the expedition. They will spend about 16 of the next 24 hours climbing.
We walked up to 9 to 10 kilometers across the saddle to get to this Kibo camp, the highest before the peak. And it was a tough day today to walk so far at this altitude.
The slow trek to Kibu High Camp, the last stop before summit, takes the group 5 hours. As the altitude steadily increases and oxygen levels decrease, even the toughest members of the group are battling.
The temperature drops 1 degree per 100 meters up. The pressure that we'll be dealing with at the top is then equivalent to being on one lung, so like half of sea level pressure. So we're lacking oxygen. Conversations are getting circular. So yeah, you got to pace yourself. You really got to watch your heart rate, watch your breathing.
It's been a long road, and I know you guys are tired, and we're now at high camp at 4,720 meters at Kibo. It's a big push for the summit tonight. I have no doubt in my mind that you will all be standing on top between about 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're going to be doing something called the rest step tonight. It's a very slow pace where you step, breathe, step, breathe, step, breathe.
The road to Uhuru Peak will take them about 8 hours, and they face another 1,000-meter increase in altitude. It's a daunting venture.
How's everyone feeling?
I think the thing I fear most is, the lack of oxygen. Your body can do funny things in moments like that. So the not knowing what's going to happen is the most terrifying thing.
The challenge of summits is it's something that you've never really experienced before. A lot of times in my life when I look back and I say, if I can summit Kilimanjaro, then I can do pretty much anything.
With just moments before beginning the final push, the crew departs to their tents to make their final pre-summit arrangements. Meg steals away to make an emotional phone call to her 3-year-old daughter.
Hello, my baby. I think my daughter's going to be super proud when she's old enough to understand, and hopefully alight her sense of adventure as well.
At 1 a.m., they set off into the cold, dark distance. Flanked by Sean, Nestor, Bariki, and the other mountaineers, the steep route that lies ahead of them lit only by their headlamps and the stars.
It's good to walk in the dark because you don't look up. So the knowledge of how far you're climbing, 1,100 meters, will put a lot of people off and terrify them. So I think it's good that the first part's in the dark. It'll literally be, your headlamp and looking at your feet in front of you.
After almost 5 hours of climbing in the dark, the sun begins to creep over Mawenzi Peak, offering a brief reprieve. They are only halfway, and at this height operating on the equivalent of half a lung.
The thin air really made me very tired and very slow. It was pretty scary in some moments.
From here, the journey only gets tougher because the climbers can now see how far they still have to go.
John, I'm really impressed. I wasn't sure if you were going to make it.
Some of the team is battling headaches and nausea. And at one point, Adriana stops, not sure if she can go on.
Before I was thinking that this wouldn't have been the most difficult thing I've ever done, but now I take that back.
As they reach the top of Kibu Peak, the steep incline begins to plateau.
It's long.
As the team snake their way around the volcano's crater, the landscape changes dramatically and glaciers begin to appear in the distance. The team is exhausted. Their breathing labored, and yet they keep going.
The biggest human moment I had was looking at a bunch of 22 odd people that were going through this and putting their body through something so hectic for an organisation that means so much to me, that I've dedicated my life to. Climbing this challenging mountain, it's truly, truly humbling.
After a year of preparation, 5 days of solid climbing, and 8 hours of agony, their determination has carried them and their noble cause for abandoned animals all the way to the top of Africa.
I felt very, very emotional, and I could understand why it's called the Mountain of the Gods.
At almost 6,000 meters, between the glaciers and the clouds, the SPCA flag flying higher than ever before.
I think conquering this mountain is going to show the world that there are a group of people that will do anything for the upliftment of welfare for animals.
Kilimanjaro, Kilimanjaro.